If you want to get all the benefits of straw mulching your garden, but you can't find organic straw or hay in your area, I have a solution for you. Let's get into it. Over the past few months, I've been trialing out straw mulching around some of my cover crops with amazing results. It's been able to build really great soil. One of the things I love about straw mulch is it helps even out the moisture level in the soil, bringing the moisture right up to surface, thereby increasing biological activity right at surface. So you make use of that full soil profile. Looking at the soil, what's not to like? The only thing better would be if there was some chocolate chip cookies or brownies in the soil. While I might be implying that chocolate chip cookies and brownies are of equal treat value, they're actually not. Chocolate chip cookies for the win. What do you think? Chocolate chip cookies or brownies? Let me know below. Given these great results in this small area, I really wanted to scale up and use this method across more of my garden. Then I saw this YouTube video. You don't use any manure or hay unless you know the sourcing. And if you can't get those questions answered for yourself, then steer clear of that source of organic matter. That guy seemed to really know what he was talking about, and he scared the manure out of me when it came to straw. So suddenly, this great idea that I had wasn't sounding so viable unless I could find some organic straw. So I set out on that journey. Could I find organic straw here in San Diego? Hi, yeah, do you sell organic hay or straw? You don't? All right, thanks. You don't? Oh, you sell non-GMO? Okay. No, that's not gonna work. Bye-bye. Non-GMO and organic, not the same. Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Only by the ton. Finding organic hay or straw here in Southern California appears to be a huge challenge. Now, I know some of you in other parts of the country, you're like, hey, that's no challenge around here, dude. I can find it all the time. Well, if you're somebody who can go into your local marketplace and source organic hay and straw, I would be doing that all day long, and consider yourself a lucky person. In fact, tonight, go play a lottery ticket or hit up the singles bar, and maybe you'll get lucky on both counts after you do some gardening. It's funny how life works. You get presented with a problem, and then you naturally troubleshoot that problem, and you come up with a solution, and possibly even a better solution. The bed that I'm standing in right here is something I've grown in the past. It's sorghum Sudan grass. It's something I grow as a cover crop to try and build soil. And I know from previous experience, it can grow huge, like 10 feet tall huge. So what if I started growing this not only to build soil, but to harvest the tops and use it for hay or straw mulching in the garden? The theory is sound. I grow it, I cut it, I dry it, I apply it to the garden. The huge benefit of doing this is that I'm stacking functions, that classic permaculture principle, because I'm building soil in this bed and then using the byproducts of that soil building in other beds to build soil there and regenerate or keep soil going there. I just need to set up a management plan to rotate the hay or straw crop around the garden so I can build soil in different beds throughout time. Doesn't this actually take up a lot of space? And it does take up some space. So if you have a really small garden, I'm not sure how practical this could be, but you could dedicate 1 or 2 rows or 1 or 2 beds to doing this and at least generate some mulch on site while building soil in place. For me, I have enough beds, more beds than I need actually, to grow vegetable crops. So I'm gonna dedicate a portion of those beds, probably somewhere around 10 to 15% of those beds, to growing cover crops to, again, build soil and grow my own mulch. Now that the idea has come to fruition, it's time to put the plan in place. The plan is going to be as follows. I'm going to seed in sorghum Sudan grass in various beds around the garden. I will rotate those beds throughout time. In the meantime, I'll be constantly cutting that sorghum Sudan grass, drying it, and sometimes wet applying it to mulch various other beds throughout the garden. When do you actually cut the crop? That's where some experimentation is going to come into place in terms of determining the best pre-cut and post-cut heights of the plant. But initially I'm going to start out with something that is 3 feet high. I'm going to cut it down to 1 foot. I'm taking 2 feet off. I'll let it regrow to 3 feet, cut it back down to 1 foot, and just keep rinsing and repeating throughout. Now I am going to have this crop in multiple beds, so maybe I'll take the bed and kind of chunk it up into different sections, let one grow up to 6 feet, cut it down to 2, all sorts of little combinations like that to find out what works best with my soil, with this exact crop that I have, and in the climate and time of year that I'm dealing with. In addition to using some of the cuttings on other beds throughout the garden, I will also do an occasional mowing of the crop in place to just self-mulch the system. I've done that in the past, as you can see here, and it's worked out really nicely, just helping to build that soil where the crop is actually growing. All this sounds great in a video, but will it actually work in reality? Well, I've grown enough sorghum Sudan grass in the past to know its growth habitat pretty well, and I think this is going to work. Now, this will have a learning curve in terms of when to cut and how much to cut, but the fundamentals are pretty simple here. We're going to plant a seed, it's going to want to grow really big, and all we have to do is cut it and apply it somewhere else. This is definitely one of those play along at home type videos, so if you like the idea of this, put it into action on your own property this year. Let me know how it went in the comments below. And if you have any feedback or suggestions regarding this method, let me know. What other crops have you tried? What other crops could work? If you're going to be straw mulching your garden this year, be careful about where you're sourcing that straw mulch. Know where it's sourced from, know what that straw has been sprayed with prior to getting to you and prior to getting to the source. Ideally, you want to find organic if possible. And if you're somebody like me who isn't that lucky in the lottery and elsewhere, then you're going to have to take matters into your own hands and possibly grow your own hay or straw for mulching your own garden. Remember, at the end of the day, don't overthink it. It's just gardening after all. So get out there, get gardening, get after it. And as always, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.